Welcome to my views on news Wednesday's first video. Breaking news is about top Fano commander Zemene Kassie, who's been on the run for months. For the last 4 months, regional and federal forces have been after him. Has he been arrested? We are receiving some reports from Bahidar about the arrest of Zemene Kassie. Secondly, viewers, third phase of Ethiopia-Tigray Eritrea war is underway. It started on the 24th of August last month. Both parties, all parties, three parties, Ethiopia, Eritrea on one side, Tigray region on the other. The two parties are accusing each other of starting this third phase. Tigray says this is continuation of earlier genocidal campaigns against the people of Tigray by Ethiopian and Eritrean governments. Eritrean and Ethiopian governments accuse Tigray. Who started this third phase of the war? Though I spoke on it, my position is clear. But Mike Hammer also spoke a little on this topic, that who started the third phase of this war. We have a clip of Mike Hammer for you, US Special Envoy. Lastly, viewers, a very important development. Ethiopian government has revoked license of a Chinese state-owned company. Poly GCL is a state-owned Chinese oil and gas exploration company working in Ethiopia for around a decade. License has been revoked. What happened? Because now Ethiopia is in dire need of foreign investment. We could see sanctions, more sanctions on Ethiopian government in coming days. So at such a crucial time when we could see more US and Western pressure upon Ethiopia in coming days, Ethiopia is revoking license of a Chinese company. We have details for you. Firstly, viewers, Zemene Kassie is one of the top Fano militia commanders. Fano militia based in the Amhara region of Ethiopia with no unified command. The militia has tens of thousands of fighters, but the militia is composed of several factions led by commanders. Like in Gajam, Zemene Kassie and Masrisha are two main commanders. In Gondar, there is Masafinth. In Volo, there is Mere Wadajo and Hassan Kiramo. In North Shoa zone, there are other Fano commanders. We know that around 4 months ago, Ethiopian federal and regional forces launched a campaign, a disarming campaign against Fano. The campaign was launched after Ethiopian federal government and Tigray regional government agreed on humanitarian ceasefire in March this year. After that, federal and regional governments went after Fano. Purpose was to disarm Fano because in the second phase of Ethiopia-Tigray war, Fano was armed. Weapons were provided to Fano fighters by Ethiopian government, by Ethiopian forces. So it was decided that Fano should be disarmed. Otherwise, these Fano armed factions could be a danger to national security. We know that intelligence agency chief of Ethiopia in some briefings clearly said that no armed groups would be allowed to operate in Ethiopia, that some armed groups were a threat to national security. So a campaign was launched, and after that thousands of Fano fighters were arrested, and there were clashes between Fano fighters and government forces, and several were killed in different places like in Voldi and Gojam. Fano commanders' houses were raided. Zemene Kassie's house in Miravi, Gajjam was raided. Masre Shah's house was raided too. Both could not be arrested. Zemene Kassie's mother appeared, his brother appeared in media, and they said that security forces misbehaved with them and stole their valuables as well when they raided the house, Zemene Kassie's house. Zemene Kassie could not be arrested. There were rumors that he had fled into Sudan or Eritrea, but all were rumors. Why was this crackdown launched against Fano? Because Ethiopian federal government of PM Abiy and Amhara regional government, they have this suspicion that Fano commanders, Fano factions could turn against federal and regional governments. That is why they launched the campaign of arresting and disarming of Fano factions. Only East Amhara Fano was allowed to operate because it struck a deal with Ethiopian National Defense Force, Meribodajo, and ENDF worked in collaboration. It came under ENDF control. So, Zemene Kassie was on the run, and reportedly he has been arrested a few hours ago in the Amhara region in Bahirdar. What was he doing in Bahirdar? Was he hiding there? Or was he called there for some reconciliation? Conflicting accounts are being shared. Some say that he was hiding in a monastery there, and some others say that some mediators contacted Zemene Kassie and they said that there is a middle ground, he should talk to the government, and he was then invited for talks to Bahirdar. And when he reached the place of meeting, the meeting place was surrounded by security forces, and reportedly he has been arrested. Now efforts are underway to shift him from Bahirdar to Addis Ababa. Obviously, he'll be shifted out of the Amhara region, out of Gajjam, Bahirdar as well, because obviously he has some following here. So there could be protests. So in coming hours, he'll be shifted. Though people are resisting, his comrades, his associates are resisting. There is tension in Bahirdar reportedly. Zemene Kassie's arrest could be, it could lead to further splits in the Amhara region. Though Amhara special forces, Amhara militias, Fano factions are fighting as well in this third phase of Ethiopia Tigray Ethiopia war, but such arrests will definitely lead to lack of unity in the Amhara region. We know that several Amhara organizations are protesting abroad, accusing Ethiopian federal government and Amhara regional government of working against Amhara interests. Arrest of Zemene Kassie will further endanger unity in the Amhara region. Let's see, we'll update in coming videos about Zemene Kassie. Will he be shifted to Addis Ababa? So far, government has not officially confirmed the arrest of Zemene Kassie. Secondly, viewers, second and now third phase of Ethiopia Tigray Ethiopia conflict ongoing since the 24th of August last month. Who started this third phase? If you remember, in my videos I said that Tigray was saying in recent months before the 24th of August that if there was no progress in talks, Tigray government would be forced to resort to military means to take back western Tigray. Humera Volkai Sagade. It was open, stated public position of Tigray regional government. Talks were held before the 24th of August. Two sessions, one in Djibouti and the other in Seychelles. Direct talks failed. Tigray launched an offensive on Wollo. That is my position, that on Wollo, it was TDF which fired the first shot, and then ENDF, EDF, which were prepared as well. No one should be mistaken. EDF, ENDF were fully prepared. Both sides were making preparations. So they were prepared as well. They launched counteroffensive. Tigray opened one front, then ENDF, EDF, now they have opened multiple fronts. Mike Hammer, US Special Envoy to the Horn of Africa, yesterday was interviewed by some news outlets, and he indirectly confirmed that this third phase of the conflict was started by Tigray forces. Indirectly, he implied in his talk that it was Tigray forces who started the 24th of August fighting, though he said that their people were dying, they were not left, so they had to do it. He was trying to justify their Tigray fighters' start of escalation on the 24th of August. Take a listen to what Mike Hammer said, then next news story.
The more recent outbreak of hostilities, again, I think that the parties remain in a stalemate, one that can only be resolved through talks, and unfortunately, hostilities resumed. Now, when I visited Mekele along with some other colleagues on August 2nd, the Tigrayan authorities were very clear that they were preparing for potential hostilities if there wasn't a restoration of services, as they were making the case that Tigrayans were suffering badly. I mean, it's not only Tigrayans, in fact, in Afar and Amhara, people are without services as well. And so this is, again, going to the core issues that need to be addressed. And what I appreciated from the Ethiopian government is they recognized their responsibility for trying to provide services for all Ethiopians, but you need a conducive environment and able to do so. You need a conducive security environment, and the best way to get to that is, of course, agreeing for a cessation of hostilities, to work out the modalities of how services should be restored, and that should be done in short order, and that's what we have been urging.
Lastly, viewers, at a very crucial time when Ethiopian government, Ethiopia, is in need of financial assistance, in need of foreign investment, Ethiopian government has revoked the license of a Chinese state-owned company operating in Ethiopia for around a decade. Poly GCL is a Chinese state-owned company which explores oil and gas reserves. The company has been operating in Ethiopia since 2013, mainly in the Somali region of Ethiopia, where in Ogaden Basin there are large reserves of crude oil and gas. In 2018, we heard that Ethiopia had started extracting crude oil, but we could not see any large-scale crude oil production. This company was exploring oil gas reserves there. In March this year, Ethiopian government warned the company that the company was not honoring its financial commitments. Warning was served. It was said that if company did not honor its commitments, its license would be revoked. And now Takele Oma, Minister of Mines and Petroleum of Ethiopia, has announced that Chinese company Poly GCL's permit to explore oil and gas in Ethiopia has been revoked. Why is that this company's license was revoked? Either the company is not interested in continuing its work in Ethiopia due to security situation, due to less productivity, due to issues with Ethiopian government, or the company is facing financial issues. That is why the license has been revoked. No details have been shared by the Ethiopian government, but now when we're going to see, I think in coming days growing pressure upon Ethiopian government, pressure from EU, from the US. Ethiopia will need Chinese and Russian support at UN General Assembly sessions, at UN Security Council meetings, at other international forums. And this move could lead to frictions between Chinese and Ethiopian governments. While Ethiopia is in need of Chinese and Russian support. Thank you for watching.